social media, beyond being helpful to try to attract new customers, is just a way to show that you are alive as a company, that you are active, that you care about interacting with customers, and you care about your image. So simply posting those first 9 pictures is a really great way to start the idea of being social, and it's a great way to capture your own content.
You want to know how to stand out from the competition? Today, I'm talking with marketing expert Chris Lonergan from Footbridge Media in the Sunshine State, and he's going to teach us how we can beat the competition online, offline, how we can take better pictures and really use images of our work to get better referrals and to land our dream clients. So without further ado, welcome back to the show, Chris.
How are we doing, Paul? Good to be back.
Yeah, well, let's get right into it. Standing out from the competition. It's not hard with all these chucking the trucks out there, but there is ways that we can market like the big boys, the Yellowstones, the Brightviews, these companies that are doing tens of millions a year in revenue that really have their trucks wrapped and their websites looking good and their pictures looking good and all that. How do we compete with them?
I mean, at this point, the name of the game when it comes to sticking out from your competition is to be visually appealing, to be visually out there, to make sure that you are representing you, yourself, your company, and your product and your services as best you can. And it's never been easier to do that. You know, before, for people to get good photos online, it took a lot of effort. You'd have to hire a photographer, hire someone to come out. Now your smartphone has more than enough power to do an excellent job of documenting your work, taking really solid pictures, and showing off how good a job that you can do. So step number 1 is you have to be out there. You have to be engaged and take those photos. Like I said, sure, you can absolutely hire a photographer. That would be overkill, in my opinion. To get things started, to get things moving, if you don't have any pictures of your work, start with your cell phone now. It's the easiest way to contribute to your own success when you're developing your own marketing, whether you're totally DIYing it, whether you're working with an agency in partnership or with someone else in your company to build up your marketing materials, not relying on stock and having your own library of content that you've created that really shows off exactly what you do with your employees, with you working out there. That's the key to making and selling your business as the expert instead of being just another person who mows lawns or does landscaping.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think from my experience, the first place to start, and we can get into the details online, but is with the actual truck. Your vehicle needs to be identified of who your company is. And Chris, yesterday I was at a stoplight and I saw 2 different vehicles. It was a Bird Key. Here's a fancy island, or not, I guess it's Island Peninsula, I don't know. But I saw 2 different work trucks come out, and their trucks looked so cluttered that one of the trucks had 2 different phone numbers. I was like, what number do you even call? And it had all list of all their services, and it just looked visually unpleasing, and it was overwhelming. And so the right way to do it is either, if you're really broke, get a little magnet, put that on there for temporary, or you could get it lettered where somebody can come out, you give them the design, and they'll kind of put the letters on your truck for you, the logos and letters, or you can get it wrapped, which is the most expensive, but it's gonna look the best. But when you put those designs together, make them very simple. Just the name of your business. If you have a logo, your logo, but you don't have to put your email, and you don't have to put all this website and all that stuff's too much on a truck. Just keep it very simple. But when it gets to the online visual appearance, share a little bit about where you want to be specifically, like what pages and stuff do you want to have, Chris, to have a online visually pleasing presence.
One of my favorite things that we have asked our contractors to do is to essentially make mini case studies. So you're going to go out, you're going to do a job that you've been out there, you did your estimate, and you know this is kind of rough looking right now, but it's going to look great when it's done. Those are prime candidates to really show off your skills. We call them project pages or project posts, but again, they're like little mini case studies. You're going to want to go through and take before and after pictures. The key for really good before and after pictures is remember where you stand. Stand in one spot, maybe directly in front of a particular irrigation sprinkler head, so you can go back to that spot before. Stand there, take your picture, take a couple different views. The great thing with using your phone is you can take 1,000,000 pictures and it doesn't cost you anything extra, so you can pick out that one really good one later. But remember to stand in that same spot for your before and afters, and get a couple different angles of what you're about to do. I think of like SB mowing and SB pressure washing. They do these crazy good before and afters and these in-progress shots of them taking an unruly lawn or an unruly driveway and making it look great again. And that's really powerful. It makes people interested in watching, but also people can kind of see themselves in that situation when they know their yard needs some work. They come to your website, they click on a part of your website where they seek projects, and they can really see the before and after, and they can go, that kind of does look like me right now. I do need to be the after shot instead. And those project pages they're great for people because people will come and they'll visit the website. And again, they can get a vibe for, I need tree trimming services. Maybe that's something you offer. Or I need lawn care services and I want it recurring, and look at what I can get. But also it's really great for search engines too, because at the end of the day, if you're doing a really specific job, say you're doing recurring lawn care in Boca Raton is where you're doing your work. When you create that website, when you create that page on your website, when you make that mini case study, you're going to talk about Boca Raton. You're going to talk about lawn mowing services and all the services that you did. And you're making this really nice package for both people and for Google to understand more about who you are, where you do your work, the kind of work you do, so that you become more relevant for searches for that particular combination of service and location. So it's a killer for both people and for search engines when you do them right.
Yeah, that's so good. And at the end of the day, we want to land our dream clients, our dream customers. And at least for me, Boca Raton, isn't that a fancy neck of the woods?
Definitely some very fancy parts of Boca.
Yeah. So I think of an ideal customer of someone who has money. And most ideal customers that have money, they want everything looking very nice and pristine. So if they can go to your website and they see, oh, wow, you do really quality work and there's fresh pictures there, not the same old stock picture, the guy rolling the sod that I've seen 100 times. Everyone uses these same pictures from Adobe stock. But your fresh company pictures, they're going to be like, oh, I'm gonna hire this company, because that's how rich people think. They want things nice. I live here in Southwest Florida, and it's a very wealthy area. But these people like nice cars, they like nice houses, they like things looking nice, and we have to put that online. We have to put that, like you said, visually appealing touch to, I think, our Instagram, to our website, to our Google business profile, to a Facebook page. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think you want a good website, you want a good Google business profile, you want an Instagram, and you want a Facebook, and that's where I'd start online. And the thing with the Instagram is, like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had 0 posts on Instagram, 0. And I was like, you have an Instagram, but you have no posts. I was like, at least put 9 posts there so your grid's full. And they were overthinking it, and they're getting paralysis. They're like, I'm going to hire a photographer. I was like, no, just take a picture with your phone, for crying out loud. Like, and just get stuff on the internet, on Instagram, Facebook, website, Google business profile. Is there any other strategies you have for where these before and after pictures should actually be published on? What platforms?
I mean, I think you got it there. You want to be the big places where people are already looking anyways. And for some communities, that's very specific. There's some parts of specific towns where Yelp maybe is incredibly popular as a social media platform. So if that's the case, if you're in an area where you know your customers are looking on Yelp, you've got a Yelp, you should have a Yelp page already, your own listing. Add your pictures there. Add them to your Google business profile. Like you said, add them to Facebook and Instagram, wherever you can. Instagram, or I think Facebook as well now for some post types. You can post your location, where you're posting from. And that really helps the algorithm to understand, especially for Instagram, where those pictures are, gives some good context. Something I think a lot of people miss out on too with social media posting, especially on Facebook or Insta. If you are having a really good conversation with your client, if they're really happy with your work, you can ask them, hey, do you mind if I tag you in this post that I'm going to do about the job that we've done for you? And if they're cool with it, then you can tag them, their handle on Insta, or you can tag their actual person URL name in Facebook. And when you do that, that opens up your post visibility to their networks as well. It also makes them more likely to like or comment or reshare, because again, they were happy with your service. They are happy to show how good their property looks now with your help. So if your customers are cool with them, tag them. And that visual type of content will always do really well on social media. It encourages likes and encourages shares, encourages organic visibility when you get more interaction. And that's just another way to open yourself up to expand your visibility to markets that maybe you weren't going to touch before. All because, like you said, you just simply shared a picture in some of these instances. You can't get freaked out. Is every picture you take going to be perfect? No. But follow just some really basic rules. I always tell folks when they're taking pictures with their camera, you want to make sure, if it's your first time doing it, take your arms really close to your body. Put your elbows in when you take your picture. And you're not going to be shaky. You also want to make sure that you're taking them, maybe take pictures in both sizes, in vertical and horizontal, because you want to make sure you cover all of your bases for what you might want things to look like. And when you take those pictures, just look in all 4 corners and make sure in all four corners of what you're seeing is their junk, as are your gas cans sitting in the corner of the shot. You don't want that. It's very simple, like you said, to overthink this idea of, oh, everything I put online has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. I'd much rather see a contractor that's got, maybe a wrapper that blew into the shot. I'd rather have that than a completely blank Instagram page when I go do some research. Social media, beyond being helpful to try to attract new customers, is just a way to show that you are alive as a company, that you are active, that you care about interacting with customers, and you care about your image. So simply posting those first 9 pictures is a really great way to start the idea of being social, and it's a great way to capture your own content, to give your website, or even if you take it beyond your website, if you put it on postcards in the future, it gives you your own content library, something that's uniquely yours and that shows your unique work process.
So good. And just to clarify, my advice wasn't only post 9 on Instagram. My advice to this particular person with 0 posts that's trying to grow their business was at least start with 9. So when I go to your Instagram page, it's full, because it shows you when you're looking. I have an iPhone 14. When I'm looking on the iPhone, it shows me kind of 3 rows at a time. So I was like, at least get 9 posts out there to fill up your grid. But then, start posting regularly and stop overthinking it, because it might take you 100 posts until you start getting better and, better at it. But anyway, that was my suggestion to them. And last I checked, they still had 0 posts. So I don't know. All right. Well, let's do another website review if you're cool with that, Chris. We did one last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
I see you, but not your screen yet there.
Okay. Well, let me see what I did wrong here. We will do sharing my screen.
Now I'm seeing your full browser there. Yep.
Okay. What do you see now?
Now I see, look like icon something or other.
Is it take up the full screen or not?
It's the full width of the tab right now that I see.
So you can see the website really clear?
Yep. Yeah, Brett Eichenberry. Yep. There we go.
Yeah. All right. All right. My buddy Brett. First time seeing his website, so I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. Here's the home page. What are your thoughts here?
Let's see here. So the first, my first immediate thought is, granted, I could see the landscape logo there in the left-hand corner, but aside from that, I'm not 100% on what my next step might be here, because I could see that orange button there. But even in this big view, the text is a little bit small there, so I'm not sure if I would know. I think it says start there, but there's no phone number button. There's no real big CTA in the corner. That's kind of what I was first looking for. And so far, I know I'm going to upgrade my exterior, but I'm not sure if I'm doing siding work. I'm not sure if I'm doing roofing work. I'm not sure if I'm doing landscape work. So visually, it's very clean with it being crisp like that. But I'd really like to see some more key phrases and some more call to action, I think, in there. I really want to lead with, if I'm a landscaper and I want to really push my landscaping skills, are you ready to upgrade your landscaping? Mm-hmm. And really, like, give me a big punch in the face for what I should expect from the next scroll that I get. Because I know the customer service is going to be a priority, but again, within that first scroll there, without reading the content, I really want to learn a little bit more. Did I come to the right place? I'm looking for landscaping work. Is this what I'm here for? I see some water, looks like some step work there, and some a backyard shot that looks like not stock. So that looks like good photos there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I'd like a little bit more about some CTA and to really know, give me a punch in the face of what am I here for?
Very well said. Yeah, this big headline here, ready to upgrade your exterior, had me confused too, because I was like, is everything you thought? I was like, what is this? I just knew because I recognize this logo in the left-hand corner. I'm like, I'm in the right spot, but that could say ready to upgrade your landscaping. I think that would be a lot more effective. You mind if I scroll down a little bit here?
Go for it. Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing. I'm not the expert. You are. These two pictures are fantastic. If that's truly the work he did, he did a fine job on those jobs. But him and his wife, I would get a picture of them or a picture of them and their team. Maybe eventually see pictures of them. But they're clean cut, good people, fit people. I think if the customer saw, oh, this is actually who'd be doing the work, I think that would be good because so far I just see landscaping. I don't see them, which I think that's their strength. They're good looking people, and their smiling faces I think should be on here. So I've just been scrolling down. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's a little bit sparse of content. I mean, we got the name there. That's great there. We've got a name down there. I'm not sure if that's a review there. But yeah, I'd like to see, again, the pictures are good, but we also have to think about screen readers and with how Google works here. So Google is going to see the picture and it's going to identify the alt text. So what have you said in the code about the picture? So right now, that page is more effective for people, I would think, than it is for search engines right now. Because you see those really cool exterior shots, very polished, finished shots. Those look great. But from an SEO perspective, my concern would be we need to make sure that a web crawler would identify what's going on here as well as a person would. And like you said, I agree. I think having a picture of who you are to show that you're not just a corporation, that you're people who are actually coming out to go do the job. I think that's always huge. People feel much more comfortable when they see pictures of you or your staff and they know who to expect. Or when they do call you, they kind of already have a picture then in their head of who's going to pick up the phone, who am I going to talk to?
Yeah. So Brett, get a picture of you and your team on there, ready to upgrade your exterior, should say, ready to upgrade your landscape. And I'm going to click on the about button here. So here's our first picture of Brett with this head chopped off halfway. I would crop that so you can see the whole headshot. Looked like that got cropped kind of funny. So there's a picture of him, which is good. Okay, now here we go.
There we go. And those are great looking headshots. Those look good.
Yeah, those look real good. But I would have those on the main page, wouldn't you?
At least one of them. I'd say at least the owner, kind of that hero shot, should be included there, especially because there's a lot of room to play with in that homepage layout there. You could easily squeeze Brett's picture in there along with the work that they've done.
Yeah. All right.
And again, toward the top there, we don't, in that first, we take our time to provide high quality work, ensure each job is completed to the highest degree of perfection. That's great, but we haven't said the job that we're doing.
Right.
So again, we kind of need to spoon feed a little bit more. This looks like a very visually appealing website, but perhaps that the visual appealing part took a little bit more precedence over the SEO part, over the optimization part of things.
We'll explore one little tab here, and then I want to move on to the next one. So now I clicked on services.
And those are just bullet points there? Those don't click to go anywhere else?
Yeah, no pictures, no clicks.
Yeah, especially if you're telling me you're going to do landscape design, I want to see landscape design at the very least. And having a single page for this is great. It's absolutely better than having nothing at all. But I'd love to see individual service pages that talk on each of these major topics. So you can have a seasonal cleanup page. You can have a not necessarily edging. It's not any job that you'd go out and that's the whole thing you would do. So you wouldn't necessarily go out and just edge someone's lawn as a whole service. That's kind of a comprehensive maintenance service. But design and construction, I definitely want to see the design work. If I'm going to call you, if I'm going to trust you with probably tens of thousands of dollars to transform my terrible backyard into something that looks beautiful, I'm going to want to see pictures of that work for sure. And having a page that has a lot of good quality content on it and the pictures on it together, that's great for SEO, but also again for people.
All righty, I'm going to switch over to Blake Albertson's website, B&B Lawn Care. First time going here, so again I just typed it in and found it on Google. Is it showing on your screen, full screen, Chris, for our YouTube viewers? I just want to make sure they'll be able to follow along. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify and you want to see these websites, our YouTube channel is Green Industry Podcast. By your request, my buddy Mike Pletz a few years ago, he's like, Paul, you got to get on YouTube. And then other folks suggested I get on YouTube. So it's a lot of extra work, but we've been putting the podcast episodes up there on YouTube, and then you can actually see what Chris and I are seeing. So that's again, YouTube Green Industry Podcast with Paul Jamison YouTube channel. So here we are, B&B Lawn Care. What are your initial thoughts here?
So we got those definitely look like non-stock photos. Right. I'd like to see some branding in there, or some people in there too. It's looks more like a mower promo than it does a specific brand. But again, I love having the shot there. It shows those crisp lines. So it shows that they're doing some good quality work. And right away, I already get, there's a phone number at the top. So if my main priority for going to a website is making sure that you exist as a company, and I just want a little bit of proof, I can click on you, and right away, I can call that phone number. I can tell you do lawn care immediately. And it's nice having those little bubbles there with the images and those brief summary service overviews there for snow service, landscaping, shrub trimming. Again, you get that immediate, I've come to the right place. I've landed here. And yes, they do these kinds of services. There's a contact button there. Again, maybe if we take the contact button and make that a bright green color, something that makes it stick out a little bit more. So that, again, if I'm interested in just, maybe I can't sleep and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm not going to call somebody, I just want to send somebody an email. It's quick for me to find that, identify it, click it, and move on.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to call the police last night, and I didn't want to call them, but I was looking if I could just send them a message because I'm trying to sleep. It's 10:30 at night, Chris. I'm trying to sleep, and this guy with the Ryobi blower, I live next to a skyscraper, and this company comes at night and they blow out the parking garage. And he's got, I looked one day, he's got a ghetto little Ryobi blower. He doesn't even have like a commercial grade Echo PB9010 or whatever. And I can't, I'm sitting there trying to sleep and just, I don't know if you know how annoying a blower sounds when you're trying
especially echoing through a parking structure. Yeah.
It was so annoying. This happens frequently. So I Google, Sarasota Police Department, and because I didn't want to call 911. Yeah. But so I figured that was a little petty for a 911 call. But I wanted to call the police and just say, hey, can you send somebody out here and tell this guy to go home with his ghetto blower? That's
got to be a noise ordinance issue of some sort to do that in a commercial plane at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a Karen, but it's 10 p.m. But my point was, I wanted to, if there would have been a button on the website that it could have just said, send your police request or whatever.
Yeah, your non-emergency request.
Comfortable just typing in, hey, can you go to this building here at this address and tell the guy to stop using his blower at 10:30 p.m. at night when I'm trying to sleep? That would have been easier, and I was too intimidated to make the call. So I can relate to on your website, have a phone number, but also make sure they can contact you electronically. Scrolling down here a little bit. One thing
we got a headshot there.
Yeah, but that picture, I know Blake. That picture is when he was a teenager. It looks like he's a grown man now with 3 kids or 2 kids, one on the way, and a beautiful wife. I would have had more like a family picture here that's current. That picture's got to be at least 7 or 8 years old. That's embarrassing, Blake. Let's get a new picture. What else are you thinking?
I mean, I do like we've got a couple of videos there. It looks like because we're looking at such a wide screen here, it looks like this is maybe a site that was built a little while ago. It would look really nice on one of those narrow screens, but now there's so much more real estate that isn't really being taken advantage of. And that's something where maybe just a redesign in general would help you to take what you have and improve upon it, because it'd be nice to have, there's little tiny thumbnails right now for where you can click on a video, but embedding a video now is way easier and looks way nicer. So just some ways to increase the visuals there even more. But I would say this does a good job overall of showing you, at least to start, this is the service. These are the services that I offer. Again, that reassurance of I've landed on a website for a company and they offer what I'm looking for.
I just clicked on the lawn mowing tab.
And again, it's not a bad start. I would say we probably need to flesh that out with some more pictures and some more content there. Now, I really want to know more about, we're making it simple for me. That's great. We understand that, that you're busy. Yep. That's good. I'm coming here because I'm too busy to cut my own grass probably. But I want to see maybe a little bit more. I know pricing is a whole other conversation with folks and websites. But if you give me some price ranges, maybe give me some more pictures of the work that you've done in the past instead of just one picture, because maybe I don't have a big golf course size looking backyard like that. Maybe I just have a small backyard. So give me some options for what other places in your community might look like, other work that you've done. Again, that's really one of the important things about not using stock, is it really shows off when you take a picture and you've got that same style house that's very common in your neighborhoods, in your community. That's really what I'm looking for there, is show me some local proof. Show me your local roots here. Give me some good local pictures and a little more content. The content being much more for Google than anything else. But it says weekly lawn mowing at the top there. That's great. That's a great start for it. I think it could be built up a little bit more.
All right. We'll stop sharing the screen there and land this plane. Is there anything we're leaving out on today's episode? I really like your critiquing these websites. I'd like to do that more in the future, and it's helpful. But is there anything we're leaving out here today, Chris, that needs addressed?
I think really the big thing is when you take those pictures, realize that you're really building up your marketing as a whole. You're building up your marketing for your website, for those project pages. You're building up your marketing for your social media. You're building up your marketing for other future print work that you might do, for lawn signs that you might do in the future. It even can help with referrals. If you have, you should have a referral program of some sort that helps to influence your past customers, your current recurring customers, to spread the word about your business. But especially if you have a project page on your website, or if you've on social media shared their specific work and tagged that homeowner, again, with their permission, that is a built-in way for someone to talk about the work that you've done and to encourage referrals for the work that you've done. So it seems simple, taking pictures of your work. It's something that every single person listening to this or watching this is more than qualified to do. But at the end of the day, if a lot of people don't do it, a lot of people feel like maybe I've hired a marketing company, I don't have to worry about taking pictures, or I'm already doing so much, I'm not going to worry about taking pictures. They're just going to go on my website anyways. It's so much more than that. Taking pictures is really the start to ensuring your brand stays top of mind for people, and for building up your website presence, building your organic presence, and for encouraging referrals for future business.
Very well said. And I appreciate your time. If you guys want to connect with Chris's company, it's called Footbridge Media. They're based out of Pensacola, Florida. What does that look like for your team to get them onboarded and help them with their website and marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. They can always follow the link here in the description for the podcast or the video. When you first sign up with us, you'll work with our onboarding department, and they're really the folks that'll get you from 0 to 60. They're going to work with you. We're going to learn more about your business. We work exclusively with contractors and home service clients, so we already know a lot about how lawn care works, about how the landscaping industry works. So you don't really have to educate us on that kind of stuff. Really, we just want to know about you, about what you do, what your focus is, the cities and the services that you really focus on. We'll take all that information and we turn it into a website for you. That's something we take care of, the design, the content creation, everything. Our goal is really to build your business while making life as easy for you as possible. So we'll get you involved when we need you to be, but for the most part, our job is to take your photos, take your contributions, and turn them into a stronger local and organic online marketing presence. Again, starting with that website, going all the way through working with our marketing consultant teams, who really are your go-to people at that point for all things marketing.
Great. And is Sam still the onboarding gal?
Yep, you'll still be working with Sam. She's the one who helps out every single one of our clients to onboard.
She's fantastic. She was on the program a long time ago. All righty, Chris. Well, I really appreciate your time, man. Hope to get you on the program again, and we can critique some more websites. And if you guys don't want I'm not saying Blake and Brett have raggedy looking websites, but if you want to have a website that if Chris looks at, he'd say 2 thumbs up. You got your nice call to action button there. You got your nice fresh pictures. You got your good your good copy of your words for both people and SEO, and just a really sharp looking website. Let the pros handle it. With Footbridge Media. Blake and Brett, if you're listening, Footbridge Media, click that link in the show notes. Get their website stepped up. They're my 2 friends. So I started off with my friends because I didn't want to pick some random person and then we roast their website and then they're like, what in the world? I think Brett and Blake will appreciate our gentle nudges of improvements. So, all right. Well, thank you for your time. Back on the program in a month or so.
Sounds great, Paul. Thanks so much.